Hi, finally, we meet again. My name is Justin Aditya Putra, and today's going to be a short video where I will reflect on the PEC 201 class that I did for semester 2 in my Diploma in Management program. Now, before I went further, I just want to tell that this class, or this subject, as I could say, is rooted towards public speaking. So the topic of the PC 201 subject was about public speaking. Now, in front of me is my laptop. Okay, but there are now 10 questions that I will answer, and my answer will actually be part of my reflection. Okay, so let's start with the first question. What were three main things that I learned from the subject? Okay, so the first one, let's make it short. I learned on how to conduct and perform less formal public speaking genres. I was always exposed to more formal public speaking genres, such as speeches and presentations, where you gotta wear the suits and, you gotta speak to everybody like those world leaders do. But I was never involved in like talk shows and podcasts or like public speaking formats that are more chill. I never was involved. I watch podcasts and talk shows all the time, but I was never in those kinds of things. And gladfully, because of PC 201, I was able to do that. Okay. Now, the second main thing is that I actually learned about video editing. Now, I'm not a master video editor. Disclaimer. I cannot edit video like, with the cool edits and stuff, just a simple edit, but I was able to edit the video to suit the current trend of TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels. I'm not saying my editing was good, but at least it was substantial enough to make it feel legit. There's quality in it, especially because the personal portfolio involved me making a YouTube short video, and it was a simple edit. It didn't even take an hour to edit, but when I saw the result, I was satisfied, and I learned a lot by using InShot, which is the application I use to edit, and I'm able to know the secrets of those content creators. Now, the third reason is that I am able to now fit the styles of public speaking based on the genre. I have quite the difficulty on trying to be more chill in public speaking. As you guys know, I was involved in formal public speaking formats or genre that are how you could say it, like it's bound by rules. It's bound by certain rules or certain manners in which you need to act. For example, you need to do this kind of gesture, you need to speak like in this way. Now, exploring less formal public speaking genres allowed me to become free. Like, this is public speaking. I'm speaking to you. Okay, but what I did in PC 201 was live, right? And I was able to express myself more, and I was able to fit to the less formal style of public speaking. Okay, so jump to the second question. Lots of question. The first question took 3 minutes. Let's just speed it up. Okay, for the second question, what was new or surprising to me? Simple. It's the less formal public speaking genre. I'm sorry if I always say less formal, but this is the way I try to convey to you guys. The less formal public speaking genre was something new and quite surprising for me, because the way you speak in the less formal genres and the formal genres are different, and I'm accustomed to the formal genres, and it's very new to me with these talk shows and podcasts and stuff. Okay, so the third is that what have I changed my mind about as a result of this session? Well, I have really changed my mind about public speaking itself. I always have these kind of thinking that public speaking is always about speeches and presentations, where public speaking is actually more than that. And this class have taught me that, public speaking could be anything. It doesn't need to be formal. It doesn't need to be, as I said before, bound by rules. It could be chill. It could be, laid back. It could be like stand-up comedy shows where you convey comedy. To be honest, I didn't know stand-up comedy shows were categorized as public speaking instances before the subject. I just realized that after I studied in PC 201, talk shows and podcasts, I never saw them as public speaking formats up until PC 201, when I finally knew that, oh yeah, They are public speaking instances. They're no different than speeches. You speak to people, right? It's just the style is different, okay? So the next question is, based on this session, what are the areas which I need to develop further? Probably more to the fluent style in which I talk in less formal public speaking genres. As you guys know, because I came from the formal public speaking background, I feel that I'm too rigid. I feel like I'm too straightforward. I mean, like, I was too formal. I can say that I was too formal in public speaking, and because I needed to speak in a less formal way in talk shows and podcasts that me and my group did, now I think that I needed to improve myself. I need to be able to have the kind of ability to be, again, less formal in order to fit the genre of public speaking. I need to find a way so that I can speak in a chill way, in a chill manner in less formal public speaking genres. The next question is, I am still unsure about some issues. What are they? Okay, I'm not being arrogant, but to be honest, there are no issues that I am unsure of, because all the issues regarding PEC 201, I mean, yeah, but regarding the class and also the public speaking genres that I encountered in this class, I am sure of it all, and I have come up with ways on how to improve them. As I said in my previous answer, based on this session, what are the areas which I need to develop? I know that I need to develop my skill on speaking on less formal public speaking instances. So I'm aware of these problems, and I'm not unsure of any other issues. So the next question is, what is the one thing which I most like about this subject? Again, being able to explore less formal public speaking genres, okay? I'm sorry if I repeat less formal public speaking genres a lot, but it's been fun and exciting and very insightful that I have learned about these genres. Stand-up comedy. I didn't do stand-up comedy, but I learned about it, right? Talk shows and podcasts, learning about that opened my mind about public speaking as a whole. Now, the last thing, what is the one thing that I most dislike about the subject? To be honest with you, is that the personal portfolio and major project is the creation of a video. To be frank, the creation of a personal portfolio has taught me about editing, as I said before, but I don't quite like it. I like it more if you do something that are more direct in life. And this ties with the major project. The major project was a talk show which me and my teammates talked about football, about sports. That is me and the boys' specialty, but we needed to create a video. The reason was because most of the class opted for a video. I tried to push for the performance to be live in class because it would be much fun, and to be honest with you guys, for me, live public speaking performances for me is good to practice my skills. But I'm very disappointed that the major project was in video, especially the major project, because the weekly activity for this class, the previous one, was a podcast where me and my teammates talked about horror films, and we did it live, and it was very entertaining because we could be able to interact directly with the audiences, and it felt better, than making a video. Okay, so the next question, what are some of the miscellaneous interesting facts that I learned in this session? This may sound silly. Okay, hear me out. This may sound silly, but I finally now know how YouTubers, when they make video essays, when they make podcasts and talk shows, they insert stock videos. Like for example, I'm in a podcast, or maybe I'm talking to you right now. I'm making a video essay about Ronaldo, the footballer, Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm talking about Ronaldo here, right? And then suddenly there's like a video of Ronaldo playing, a compilation of Cristiano Ronaldo playing. And it's very cool. I've watched lots of videos like that because I am a fan of video essays myself, but I don't know how can you do that. I've used KineMaster, InShot, CapCut, Filmora ago. I could do that, but I saw one of my teammates edit the major project video, which was the talk show, and she's able to do that subtly in the best way possible. And it turns out she did that by overlapping the layers. So if you can see that, we recorded the video, we inserted it to the editing application she used, and then what she did was that she recorded a compilation video of footballers playing, because our topic is football, and then she overlapped the stock videos, the compilation videos, under the video that we recorded. What happened was that when the editing was complete, the stock video or the compilation video can be shown while our voices are still talking in the background, just like YouTubers. And it may sound useless, but finally I can get some cool fact, okay? Okay, so the next question is, the ninth question. What are the 3 issues that interested me a lot and that I would like to ask my lecturer for more detailed explanation? First, are we able to add a little humor and comedy in formal public speaking instances? I know this is formal, okay? But the key is little bit of comedy. You know, are we able to put just a humor, a little bit of comedy humor, a little bit of a joke? Are we able to do that? Because, you know, again, I was educated in an environment where public speaking is just like tight, formal. You need to follow this, you need to follow that. Aren't we able to like chill a bit, ice break a bit, you know, even this is formal, not overdo it, but are we able to just at least a little, you know, not to make it a little too robotic, okay? And the second one is, are we allowed to move our body in a freer way and more variative way in formal public speaking formats? Okay, so let me tell you a secret. I'm not sure, because this is based on my experience studying in this public speaking academy, okay? Back in, I was in Indonesia. I wouldn't tell the academy because I don't want to badmouth them. You guys may be different, but this was how I was taught, that formal public speaking, you need to move in a certain way. As I explained before, you need to move in a certain way. For example, when you're explaining some points in a speech, you need to move to certain areas of the stage. Like for example, this is a stage, and then you have 3 points that you want to explain. Now, like, you have 3 points that you want to explain. When you want to explain the first point, you need to stand like in the center, what we call the power position, the center of the stage. Then when you start explaining the second point, you move to the right side of the stage. Then when you move to the third point, you move all the way to the left side of the stage, okay? Then when you want to end speech, you need to go back to power position. There was an example of the things in formal public speaking in which you need to do some things. There are techniques that you need to follow in order for you to public speak formally. And it impacts also body gestures, in that what I'm doing now, we need to do some kind of body gestures. And I'm going to tell you a funny story. I was taught, me and the other students in the public speaking academy was taught by my coach to this is such a to be honest, this is so we were at that time we were taught on how to act and how to move our body gesture when we are trying to motivate or persuade somebody. And what she told us was that, I'm gonna need to show you, we need to kneel like this and do this. I am not joking. That she taught us to do that, literally like a preacher, like, oh, you imagine like that, to kneel, to do that. We're doing motivational speeches, or speeches that are more like persuading, like, you know, those speeches where like do you love your parents? Imagine if your parents die, you need to love your parents, those kind of things. And she taught us to do that. For me at least, I'm sorry, coach, that looks silly, because if I do that in full suit in front of CEOs when I'm trying to motivate them, I will be sent into an asylum because they'll think I'm crazy. That's what I want to ask madam. Should we do that? Should we go to the extent that everything is like you need to follow these sort of steps, even though it looks bad? We should follow that. Should we do that in formal public speaking instances? Because for me, to be honest, those kinds of things, we need it. But if we overdo it, like how I was taught, we will look robotic and we will look templatey. We're not agile and people will look as weird. Okay, so the third question is, if comedy is allowed in formal public speaking instances, how much comedy can we insert? Because I am a person that likes to joke. I don't want to overdo comedy when I'm doing formal public speaking instances. I don't want to joke around too much when I'm doing formal speeches, formal presentations, because I know that it's not good. That's why I want to ask Madam, how about the timing of comedy in formal public speaking instances? How much can we add comedy in formal public speaking genres? And at what time is it okay to joke in formal public speaking? And so the last question is, I am still afraid of some issues. What are they? Second, I'm afraid that I cannot grasp the less formal side of public speaking. I'm afraid that I cannot go into talk show and podcasts well. I am afraid that I cannot speak well in talk show and podcast because I'm not that used to. The second is that I am afraid that I cannot improve my public speaking weaknesses and become a master public speaker. Throughout my life, I never wanted to become those certified public speaker. Well, it would be an honor. But it was never like a target for me. At least I can public speak in a way that I can attract people to follow me. That's what I want, especially when I'm a leader later. And I'm really, really afraid that I am not able to fix my mistakes and become a good public speaker because, again, formal, informal, no matter, I still have weaknesses that some I have outlined just now in the earlier parts of the video. I'm really afraid that I couldn't do that. At least I don't become a CPS, a certified public speaker. I don't need to be the champion of Toastmasters. I just want to be a good public speaker, whereas I can improve my self-quality, I can be a good leader, people can follow me, I can convince people, and I can make good relationships with others through my public speaking skills. And that's what I am afraid that I cannot achieve. That's why I need to work hard. I need to work really hard. Okay, so this marks the end of this video. 17 minutes. I'm sorry I said this was going to be short, but 17 minutes. I hope you really understand what I'm talking right now. Okay, so bye. See you on the next video.